least to us, many of the crooks look like crooks. I mean, we have spotted, we haven't shorted them, but we have spotted a lot of frauds over the years.
I think if you see people panicking, then instead of saying, oh man, my stock's gone down, there's a buying opportunity.
Said again, we're going to have full autonomy.
No, I didn't say we will. I said I think, in my opinion, we probably will.
Okay, right. There's a number of qualifiers there. I think, in my opinion, we probably will. So what do you think, in your opinion, you probably will? When?
I mean, it does look like it's going to happen this year.
Why?
I've said for several years, you've said it'll be this year, it'll be next year. What would you say to those people?
It'll be this year. 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 It'll be this year.
Perfect. We got it.
Put that out.
That'll be a great quote for 6 months.
We're probably only a month away from having autonomous driving, at least for highways and for relatively simple roads. This will definitely be a reality. A Tesla car next year will probably be 90% capable of autopilot. Like, so 90% of your miles could be on auto. You know, for sure highway, as self-driving becomes a reality.
Promised yesterday. He said there would be 1 million Tesla robo-taxis, I should say, on the
manual driving to autonomous, I think will be the single biggest asset value increase in history.
In public companies, and years before, you know, that the roof fell in, and
Model Tesla to a $100 trillion market cap without breathing hard. And
they usually are people that tell you things that are too good to be true.
Elon is saying it's going to remove all limits to the economy because basically labor will be unlimited.
For one thing, I mean, they tell you very mediocre businesses are wonderful businesses for one reason or another, or they
Here we fucking are. Again, still betting 1,000, bitches. Now,
narrative took over from the fundamentals in the fourth quarter of 2019.
has made this point quite clear on recent earnings calls. Even if Tesla was selling vehicles at no profit, 0% margin, in the future they will reap insane profits as a result of autonomy. It's not to say that Tesla plans on selling vehicles at 0% profit margin, but the point is, the future profits from autonomy, almost pure profit, software margin, utterly dwarf anything Tesla could make selling the hardware, the vehicles themselves. And every additional vehicle Tesla puts on roads is not only a future money printer. When autonomy is enabled, people subscribe to this per month. And then, of course, the robotaxis themselves can drive people from point A to point B, and Tesla takes a cut of those fares as well. Remember, there's the autonomy subscription per month, and then there's robotaxi fares per mile. Tesla's getting a cut of both. But these vehicles today accelerate Tesla's data flywheel. More vehicles on roads, more edge cases collected, more data to train the neural networks to improve the capabilities, aka...
The fundamentals had been kind of crummy for 5 years. And then people said, aha, this is an ESG play. This is Elon Musk changing the world. This is going to be robo-taxis. This is going to be full self-driving level 5 autonomy. This is going to be new batteries. And the narrative took over for the fundamentals in a major way because, as you know, most automakers trade at less than 1 times revenues. Most of them trade at 0.6, 0.7 times revenues, which would put Tesla at about $30 a share, not $450. So obviously, $400 of that is due to the perception of people of great businesses in the future and great technological breakthroughs in the future.
What justifies that perception?
I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't think anything does, actually, but I've been wrong. Remember, a year ago now, we were supposed to have 1 million robotaxis on the road this year.
I think Charlie Grant had tweeted something out about how people should actually sell their Tesla stock and buy a Model 3 because the yield on the autonomous taxi fares would actually be higher than the spread on the equity.
Right. And so, well, there's all kinds of sort of craziness that surrounds these narratives. You know, people.
You say, what is net present value of a robotaxi? Probably on the order of a couple $100,000. So buying a Model 3 is a good deal. Any questions?
And so, I mean, these narratives sometimes break down when you apply some common sense to them. And keep in mind, so Battery Day, there were no batteries shown at Tesla. Literally, there were no batteries shown at Battery Day. There was all kinds of talk of new technology, but they didn't show anything. And they're still at level 2 to 2.5 in the autonomous driving scale versus 5.0 full autonomy. So it's still, as we enter 2021, shockingly a car company. And that's the reality of what they are. They can talk about all this other stuff, but that's in fact where they make, almost all their revenues, and they're capital intensive, and they're building new auto plants, and they're competing with Volkswagen and competing with Audi and Ford and the rest of them. They're a car company. And no matter what people want to say that it's a cow and not a duck, they're a duck.
Yeah. Well, I've heard people say different things about what Tesla is every so many months. It's a data company, it's a tech company, or the data story is like a big one, right? The same story with Uber. It's that this is all a data play, and Uber is subsidizing this giant vacuum cleaner of data. And it's going to have so much that it's going to achieve escape velocity.
And tell me a company that doesn't collect data on its customers at this point, and I'll basically tell you a company that's already dead.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, every company now collects data on its customers. I mean, that goes without saying. And this whole idea that they're collecting data, I've been hearing that on Tesla for years now.
Here we fucking are. Again, still betting 1,000, bitches. Now, every additional vehicle Tesla puts on roads is not only a future money printer. When autonomy is enabled, people subscribe to this per month. And then, of course, the robotaxis themselves can drive people from point A to point B, and Tesla takes a cut of those fares as well. Remember, there's the autonomy subscription per month, and then there's robotaxi fares per mile. Tesla's getting a cut of both. But these vehicles today accelerate Tesla's data flywheel. More vehicles on roads, more edge cases collected, more data to train the neural networks to improve the capabilities, aka the safety of FSD, to further extend their already unassailable lead.
Of course, the t-shirts. Tesla is the next Tesla. T-shirts links below. But let's get started. I want to thank everyone for coming.
Every action Tesla takes should be seen through this lens. It is in Tesla's best interest to make as many vehicles as they can and sell them all as fast as they can to get them on roads so they can collect more data and ultimately, in the future, enable autonomy, awaken the robotaxis, and print ludicrous, unprecedented amounts of money. It's kind of...
And to which I keep saying, well, if that's the case, why haven't they advanced beyond level 2 autonomy? If they've collected all this data, where is it? Well, where is it showing up in new autonomous technology? And the fact of it is, it's not. And
what do you think, in your opinion, you probably will? When?
I mean, it does look like it's going to happen this year.
Why?
They just have a smell about them, and in effect, and wouldn't you say that's true, Charlie?
Well, sometimes it's amazingly obvious.
Elon is saying it's going to remove all limits to the economy because basically labor will be unlimited. And
If you think about what we're doing right now with the cars, Tesla is arguably the world's biggest robotics company. I think generally people do not, or very few people, even in the AI community, do not appreciate just how much capability Tesla has in AI. It's by far the most advanced real-world AI. There's no one even close. And we expect to have the first operating robotaxis next year, with no one in them next year. This, I think, will be quite profound, because if you say, like, what is the economy? It is, at the foundation, it is labor. So what happens when there is, no shortage of labor? But what I can say is we're going to move to just truly massive scale. Scale that no company has ever achieved in the history of humanity. That has to happen in order to transition the world to sustainable energy. So massive scale, full self-driving. There's going to be a dedicated robotaxi. That's going to look pretty. It's going to look quite futuristic. And then of course we've got the Tesla robot, Optimus. This is, I think Optimus will obviate what it even means, what an economy even means. So it'll be able to, basically anything that humans don't want to do, Optimus will do it. And it's going to be an age of abundance. And so I think it's maybe hard to imagine it, but as you see Optimus develop, and we're obviously going to make sure it's safe. No Terminator stuff or that kind of thing. But it's really going to transform the world, I think, to a degree even greater than the cars. And then we've got, and I think we have a shot at being in production for version 1 of Optimus, hopefully next year. So. And I guess I have somewhat of a pathological optimism.
Well, it works, by the way, because you don't end up with this unless you're optimistic. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, who would try to do this and rockets if they weren't pathologically optimistic?
No, you'd have to be.
Yeah. So there's a double-edged sword, I guess.
But do you ever say to yourself, "All right, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here"? I mean, when you said again, we're going to have full autonomy.
No, I didn't say we will. I said I think. You think? In my opinion, we probably will.
Okay, right. There's a number of qualifiers there. I think, in my opinion, we probably will. So, what do you think, in your opinion, you probably will? When?
I mean, it does look like it's going to happen this year.
Why? Those 2023 compact robotaxi factories are going to be spitting out a lot of vehicles. It's going to be easy for them to achieve 10 million vehicles in Tesla's own fleet, combining lease vehicles that come off lease plus new vehicles made if they dedicate a lot of those compact robotaxis to Tesla's fleet. Profits, again, are falling per car to $30,000 in 2026 and later to $10,000 in 2030. But you see Tesla's profit at $300 billion on the robotaxi network alone in 2026. This is gross profit. We're going to deal with net profit in video 5. In 2030, we've got 100 million vehicles in the fleet and $1 trillion in profit. Again, this is a big number, but this is attainable. This is a lot more reasonable than the last one. When you look at total vehicle miles traveled by people around the world, 100 million vehicles in the fleet would work if Tesla went all in and achieved a really, really large share of the market, 50% market share or so.
It's going to be massive.
It's just truly massive scale.
It will signal the start of a multi-year S-curve slope that is many times bigger in magnitude than electric vehicles. And then you've got S-curve number 3, which is AI robots.
I think with all that in mind, I haven't even said a word about energy. I haven't even said a word about robotics. I haven't said a word about AI. I haven't said a word about insurance. And we can do this all day about all this other stuff they're developing. And they're really good at multitasking, by the way. So, I mean, at this point, at this juncture, at 80 PE, I'll take it.
And the reason why this is the biggest S-curve of all is because I'm not sure what limits AI really has. And if AI robots end up at artificial general intelligence, then while we all might have disagreements on each of these S-curves, when the inflection point is going to be for each curve and how big each S-curve is, I think it's fascinating that one company led by a very unique person and a very capable team around him are pushing the envelope of trying to ride 3 massive S-curves all at the same time. It's truly incredible.
So that, I've only met him once or twice, but yeah, that's it. I've talked with him, but not for quite a while.
And would you invest in Tesla?
No.
Okay. Let's switch.